Alan Kay apparently put out a video called Rethinking Computers from Scratch. No, nigger. No, no, no. And let me tell you why. There is Windows. In terms of market share for the desktop, laptop, I understand that they are number one by market share. There is Mac OS, there is Chrome OS, there is iOS and iPad OS and Linux and Android and a million other tail-end operating systems that are used for embedded machines or microcontrollers. There might be some fucking operating systems that don't have a GUI. Every computer that has a graphical user interface has something in common. It's called a fucking browser. You can code your browser app, your web app, on a Windows machine and deploy it on a Mac machine without buying a fucking Mac and having Xcode. The browser, I think it's called a Venn diagram, if I'm not mistaken. The triangle in the middle of all operating systems is the browser. And the browser is an operating system. And if you have integrated developing environment, developer environment, an IDE, or an SDK, or some other fucking bullshit acronym that's probably insulting me in some way, yeah, you can code in your browser. You can type code in Visual Studio. You can also have a web app that looks exactly like Visual Studio. For example, we don't need to reinvent the computer. We just need to strip away everything that's not compatible. The browser is more or less 100% compatible. My website works in Firefox and Safari and Chrome. I haven't checked Internet Explorer because I don't give a shit. As I understand, Internet Explorer is now based on Chrome. They went with Chrome instead of WebKit or whatever Mozilla framework. Whatever. Anyway, the Chromium open source browser is an interesting option, and there's also Firefox. That's an operating system. It is a file browser for the internet, and you can make it be a local file browser as well. And you can have a folder with an index file. You can have a web app in a folder, and you can run it from a local host. You can have your browser talking to a local host in order to access that web app. You can have a desktop application made with web frameworks. You can have a web app that works on every operating system. And you can have Web3 enable it to be useful offline. If you have offline storage, you have some files on your device inside your local storage, You can access all of that through your browser even if you're offline. The universal operating system that does not need to be reimagined is a fucking browser with a local storage file explorer. And a browser VM that's universal, write once, run anywhere. It's ubiquitous, it's already deployed. Every single fucking computer with a GUI has a fucking browser. 99.99999% anyway. I can't imagine a computer with a GUI that doesn't have a fucking browser. And the browser may have some RAM limitations, but it can do everything your operating system can do. You could play a 3D game in your fucking browser with WebAssembly. Again, there are some optimizations that we could make to the browser, like allowing it to use unlimited RAM per tab and shit like that. No, we're not gonna reinvent the computer from scratch. We're just maybe gonna invent new wearable user interfaces for the web. There is a file system that is local and wide, and your computer is a terminal for accessing it and running stored programs. The browser can do all of that, and if your app works in a browser, it works everywhere. And now we have BitTorrent and IPFS and all kinds of cool shit. That means that from a browser, you could run a $1 trillion market cap scale enterprise from a van down by the fucking river. Forget about a $5 billion pussy magnet, giant vagina in Cupertino. You know, a nice $29 million mansion in Marin County that is Japanese themed. Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice HQ. But with Web3, you could run a massive fucking enterprise with billions of users from a van down by the fucking river. Write once, run anywhere, universal, ubiquitous, the convergence of all operating systems is the browser VM. So make your shit run in a fucking browser. And shut the fuck up. Don't reinvent the computer. Just strip away everything that's not the fucking browser.